Happy trails to you.
Hey Dad, finally, you're done. You're retired. Now you can fish your brains out and hunt. What, say?
Congratulations.
Hi, Craig. Okay. Yeah, go on, Sharon.
Sharon.
We're all so shy. We just wanted to say how honored we are to be able to talk to you tonight, and we're not sure why we were so special to be chosen, but we all have a few things we want to say to you right now.
Go, Sharon.
Okay, the story I'm not telling tonight is how great your hearing is and all the times you patiently listened to me, even though you couldn't understand a damn thing I was saying. And tonight, I will talk slowly, just for your benefit, and we have a special microphone for you with a special translator for you of everything I have to say, so you can keep it forever.
So, Craig, my biggest wish tonight when we get up in front of everybody else is to not break down and start crying like a baby, because you're just an amazing human being, and at least for the three of us, where our lives have gone since meeting you is just, it's incredible. So there's no way to say thank you enough, and love you.
Yeah, and Craig, I mean, it's just that every day that we work, we think of you and everything that we learned from you, and our desire to do the best that we can is really to honor you in every way. So,
and on the way up, we were talking about the most intimidating thing we've ever done. Because this is, to me, the most intimidating thing I have ever done. Speaking in front of a crowd of the most amazing people that you basically helped create, and honoring the most amazing person that every single person in this room feels the same. But Nancy has her own special story that her most intimidating thing is having to replace you in the planting design class.
Trying to teach your class.
Help.
After you left.
Help.
And the whole time that was going through my head is, what would Craig do? What would Craig do?
So.
That's it.
Good night.
Enjoy.
CraigJohnson saying hello to you, and I want to thank you for the wonderful education that I received from Utah State and the LAP department. You were a big part of that education. I also want to thank you for instilling me a love of the outdoors, fishing and hunting, which I had, but you had certainly enforced my love of those sorts of activities. I wish you the best in your future endeavors, hunting and fishing. I'm very envious of your position right now, and I certainly appreciate the 40 years of your expertise that you've given the students that have come through this particular department. I know that I've worked with other students and have hired other students that have come from different institutions, but Utah State is the best institution as far as the profession of landscape architecture and environmental planning that I've come across. So I want to thank you for your hard work and dedication and your kindness toward students and loved ones as well. So I wish you the best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of great memories of Gus. One that I'd like to talk about doesn't have much to do with landscape architecture, but it does have to do with him and his colleague Vern Budge. Believe it or not, for many years, Gus was our spiritual advisor when we played church basketball. Now, many of you have heard of LDS church basketball, but it isn't exactly a spiritual experience, but you certainly need a spiritual advisor. And Gus learned very, very quickly that immediately after the opening prayer, anything went. And I'll never forget one night, it was tense. And Vern had his competitive juices going, was knocking people around. Gus was getting the rebounds. And he said, "Oh, Ross, shit, this is better than catching a whole creel full of trout."
Craig, it's your ever-loving brother Todd and his ever-loving son Sam. And we are here, as you know, and we will be with you in subsequent years, and we are very anxious to go slay some slough sharks with you this summer. So, Sam, do you have a few words about Craig and him pimping the wilderness for us?
I'd like to come out and be a part of your activism, and we need to go fishing.
That's it for now, Craig. We'll see you tonight, and wear those asbestos underwear.
Okay, well, I just would like to thank you so much, Craig. I think you were one of the biggest influences on my life and my career as a landscape architect and as a designer. And I just remember one of the things that impacted me the most was in our plant, in one of our classes when we did the plant transects, and we actually learned about the natural ecology and really understanding that and understanding how ecosystems work together and giving it a sense of region and place. And I've integrated that into everything that I've done, and even as I move into architecture now, I think that's going to stay with me for a long time. So anyway, thank you and good luck and enjoy fishing.
Hi, Craig. I have the luck of being one of your more recent students, so hopefully, it won't be too hard to remember who I am. I want to thank you for being an inspiration to me and being someone who I can really connect with as far as your appreciation for the greater nature outdoors. I also thank you for the bass. No, I think it was perch and crappies and sunfish that you gave me. That has inspired Mike and I to contemplate going down to Franklin County and doing some fishing with our bobbers this summer. So we're excited about that. Have a good time in Minnesota, and I look forward to hearing about the ice cracking and all the different birds that come through your way. They're lucky to have you. We'll miss you. Thanks.
Hey Craig, it's Sean Sager, and I graduated in 1988. And in between my sophomore and junior year, I was not performing too well in school and was basically having a hard time with plant materials, memorizing plant materials. And you brought me in and had a heart-to-heart talk with me and described a scenario where I could do a summer course of plant materials makeup, and I sure appreciated that, and I jumped right on that and spent that summer riding my bicycle through campus every day and trying to understand the different plant materials and how to identify those and memorize their scientific names. And you forever changed my life by extending me that courtesy and helpfulness, and I sure appreciated you over the years. So best in retirement. Hope everything goes great in your home country, and we'll hopefully path cross some other day.
Well, Craig, this is really a momentous occasion. I have to tell you, when I first saw you, it was the very first lecture. I was brand new. I didn't know anybody. And you came walking in, and I thought, who's this guy in here with his cowboy boots and his jeans and his bolo tie? And it was, you were the professor. And so you've got to be the favorite professor, I have to say. I have to confess, you're my favorite professor. The place will not be the same without you, and I imagine it won't be the same without me. You know, two old guys leaving at the same time. Thanks for all you've done, and good luck with your fishing, and we'll just have to keep in touch. You've taught me a lot, and you've taught a lot of people so much. I don't know, all that knowledge shouldn't leave. So hope you stay in touch. Thanks. Bye.
Anytime you're ready. Craig, are you there? So they had this wacky thing set up here, and I thought at least I'd sit down for a moment. But this is what I remember. We went ice fishing once, and I think, God, it must have been 30 years ago. I was working on a project up in Wyoming, and you were somewhere in the neighborhood. We went up to Idaho and got that auger out and got it through the ice and actually did some fishing. But what I remember most about that trip was when we went to the bar afterwards. It was one of these bars where the chairs were saddles, so we were definitely out in the sticks. And one thing that I think I learned from you was your appreciation for the local beer, the local, ecosystem, the local whatever. I mean, just wherever you are, appreciate what this place is, what it has to offer. And that just stuck in my craw, and I felt I had to bring it up. So there you go.
Okay. Craig, congratulations on almost a half century of working for USU. It's been a pleasure working with you. I had a lot of fun on the canoe trip and going around the marshes with you and having your expertise and knowledge that you shared with us. And I feel privileged that I think my dad and I are the only father-son combo that you've taught. And so that was fun to get to know you and link with the past with my dad. So congratulations again. I appreciate your knowledge and expertise, and good luck in Minnesota. Thanks.
All right, Craig, congratulations. It was great working with you and being a student of yours, and just getting to know you. You definitely impacted our lives for good. If you're ever in town, and you want to go fishing, give me a call, give Eric a call. We're always willing to go fishing with you, and I'm sure Eric will go duck hunting with you anytime. But yeah, it was really great to know you, and we're all excited for you to be able to move on and take a little rest now, take a break. So you deserve it. All right, thanks, Craig.
It's probably been said before, but Craig Johnson is just a beautiful soul that inspired everyone that I knew that went through school with his big heart for the wilderness and his knowledge, amazing knowledge. And he's so humble, which I think is amazing. And I just wish him peace and love and happiness in the future. Cheers.
Hey, Craig. It's nice to be here at your retirement party. I'm Jay Ballwinkle, if you don't remember that. I really enjoyed your classes. You always had a lot of fun and sense of humor things. I think the things I've enjoyed the most is coming back after and being on the advisory board and kind of be on the same side of the table as the professors are. So that's been a lot of fun to kind of hook up with you on that and kind of share some memories and times together. Appreciate it's fun seeing some of the old history at MGBA and some of your drawings and pictures and brochures that have some of your touch on it. I think you've made quite the imprint of our profession and our school and the people that we associate with. We always have fun laughs about some of your anecdotes and some of the things we talk about. So good luck in your retirement and everything that you're doing in the future, and we'll hopefully hook up with you again soon. See you, Craig.
Craig, the lessons you've taught and the encouragement you've given will never be forgotten. Thank you, Craig.
Okay. Craig, boy, I'm going to miss you. You make me laugh at least 5 to 10 times a day, and my job is going to be just quite a bit more boring without you around. I remember coming into the department and thinking that that you were just one of the best people to work for. I wouldn't do half of the things that I do for you for anybody else. There's just no way. I would tell them to go do it themselves. But I remember when you were writing the Henry Fork fishing story, and I was suggesting that we change the wording a little bit and put some rainbows in there and different words. And I thought, I don't know this guy very well, and he's a professor, and I wonder if he's going to take this wrong that I've rewritten this a little bit for him. You were just happy and took my suggestions, and that's very rare for someone to do that. And I just think you're just a special person, and you just make everyone feel valued and that you work with or they're around you. And as we saw with all the students and all the tears, you're just a very unique person. And I am so going to miss you and Judy, and I sure wish you weren't going to Minnesota. But we will hopefully we're going to be able to come out there and see the big world of Dent and the big McDonald. See you, buddy.
Well, Craig, I can't really imagine you. It must be really cold outside if you're inside watching these things. But I just wanted to say thank you, like everyone else probably has said, and pass along maybe one story in particular because, of course, you've taught us a lot of good things. But the one thing that I think has really rung true, and I thank you a lot, was you may remember that when I was graduating the last year, you'd always tell me to, just kind of go with my heart do what was right, trust yourself, got good intuition, and so I fell in love, met someone who was already going to have a baby, and here we are 5 years later. It was probably the best thing I could have ever done. And having that confidence to go ahead and do that was something that I think really, in part, came from within, of course, but you help nurture it and bring it outside. And, you know, life has really unfolded for me after that, and just really appreciate that friendship on a human level. Yes, all the professional stuff and learning this and that about, you know, biology and habitat, wildlife habitat, and how to assess this and analyze that, all that, yes, but it was more the real human thing, and you and my stepfather have that uncanny ability to really get to the heart of the matter and trust yourself, and really worked out for me, and I'm entirely indebted, so I hope you catch a lot of fish. I hope you don't watch these clips too often, except for the good ones like mine, maybe, or the folks. And I hope you're not a stranger. So thanks, Craig. Thanks, Judy. Bye.
Hi, Craig. Tracy Douthit here. It's only been 26 years. It's a really long time. But we both have a lot more gray, and I just wanted to tell you what a great program I got to experience when I came to Utah State. And I think all of you guys were probably the best professors anybody could have ever had. And I always speak in glowing terms of the department and just how nationally ranked it is. And it's all because of you guys. So just from the bottom of my heart, cheers to you. Have a great time in Minnesota. Give me a call if you want to paddle the boundary waters. And good luck to you.
Hi, Craig. It was a real joy to be here tonight and to see all of the love expressed for you and the appreciation and the effect that you've had on so many lives in your career and probably never even imagined. And you know, I count myself among one of those lucky numbers that was able to be here while you were here in Logan. And just want to say thanks for not giving up on me after I totally blew my windscreen design quiz. It was something minor, but I couldn't believe that I ever failed something like that in college. And thanks for giving me a chance to kind of redeem myself. And I think a lot about what sort of significance you had in my life. And in a lot of ways, you remind me of my grandfather, who I never really had a chance to know in my lifetime. But what I'm told of him is just his connection with the land. He was a hunter and an avid fisherman, and was gifted with the knowledge of plants without having the education. And fortunately, we have your academic background. We've had, your wonderful knowledge shared with us, and I just want to thank you again for everything that you've given us, and wish you and your family a great time ahead of you in Minnesota. Thanks.
Hi, Ron Vance, started in 91, I believe, graduated in 98. And Craig, I didn't really have anything prepared, but come more or less a brain drain is what I was thinking. I came to Utah. I applied as a late student, haven't been out of school for better than 15, 20 years. I applied all over the country to landscape architecture classes, wanting to go back to school and focus on wildlife. Utah State was the only place I got to visit. After meeting with you, I didn't have any other questions about where I wanted to go to study. It was Utah State, and that was based on your being here. We never got to work together, actually, but I was always really appreciative of the time you took for all of us, the things we learned. I believe two of the major things in my life that I have learned was from my uncle on the farm, watching things, watching the land, how it grows, watching the weather, how it comes in. And I also learned from you how to translate that into designs, plans, and understand it as a system. And I'll always have that with me. Minnesota sounds interesting. If you review this in 5, 6, 7 years, think of warming up in Costa Rica. You can come down during the wet season, it'll be 82 degrees, or you can come down during the dry season, it'll be 86 degrees. I believe some of the largest trophy fish taken are taken off of that South Pacific coast about 15 minutes away. So look for chickenranch38 at gmail.com, and I'll be monitoring that, and you've got an open invitation to come down anytime. Really appreciated it. I know, again, when I came and talked to you initially, you said, well, your grades aren't very good, but you gave me a chance. You told me to go back and shoot for 1,200 on the ACT. I went home for months. I studied and studied and studied. I actually learned math to the point that I started to like it, so I quit. I don't think I got my 1,200, but I got in anyway, and it probably put a framework on my life for where I'm going with the rest of my life. I've learned from you to trust my feelings, be honest, and focus on doing the right thing. Not necessarily the thing for money or anything else, but the thing that you feel is right in your heart. And one of the real changes in my life, or lessons too, was don't look at it short term, look at the long term. You could have done anything you wanted, and the most important thing to you was teaching other people and getting that heritage of more people and how they thought and how they would interact with the world. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Craig, just share one quick memory. Back when you were teaching us site planning, and our class project was to redesign that TSC Plaza. And I remember I put my whole heart and soul coming up with these elaborate pathways that cut across, had multiple levels, and they were concrete. Some of them were plazas, waterfalls, and this and that. And I remember you giving me a crit, and I thought things were going really well. And I remember getting back my paper, and this has been mentioned many times, but there was more red back on that paper, and you gave a little summary of my work to the class, and I'll never forget. He said, "There's this beautiful sweeping lines, artfully done, but the problem is you need to work for UDOT." I thought, oh man, UDOT's not where I wanted to be. Anyway, I truly appreciate all of your wisdom and all of the knowledge that you imparted to me and encouragement. And I am in great deal of who I am today because of you and your example. And thank you very much.
Hi, Craig. Randy Jackson. You know, I was there 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. And all I could do is thank you for the patience. And I wanted to share one thought with you. I would not be an urban designer today if you didn't make me sketch that alley behind the Bluebird to the nth degree. If you'd only taken me out to the forest, I'd be working for the Forest Service. Thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate it.
Hi, Gus and Judy. These are the representatives of the class of 73.
That's 19, not 18.
Right.
Gus, Judy.
Ralph Mize, Alan Cooksey, and R.P. Bisland. So, really want to thank you for all that you have given to us. I think, Gus, you were one of the most imaginative teachers I can remember. I always, all the classes I've ever taken, thought one of the best tests that we ever had was you gave us a blank piece of paper with just different plants and animal habitats, and we had to then come up with the landforms, the contours. And I thought, boy, that was a brilliant idea. I really appreciated that.
I don't think at the time we took the test we thought it was so brilliant.
Well, I always remember that you had wombat droppings as one of the plant habitats from Bob's wombat phase. And Judy, I always remember you were in the first class that I ever took in LAEP. We were in the basement of Old Main, and it was a introduction to design or something like that, and you and I were sort of the paired up on various projects, so I have good memories of that.
Yeah, it was cool. Fall '69?
Fall of '69.
Fall of '69, wow. Well, you know, Uncle Ralphie, he did real well right then. He's still the A student, and
Wow.
here's another A student. Here's the D student. But one of the things, Gus, that I remember that really struck me, and I hope you were the one that did it, no, was plant transects.
Yes.
You know, they were so cool. That was such a great project. Great project, and I've told so many people about that. And the place I live now has chokecherry, or excuse me, an ash, Fraxinus, and up on a dry hillside. But the fact that ash is there, I knew there was a perched water table. From what? From our transect that had a chokecherry on it. So very cool. So I knew there was water coming down that slope. So those were some of the things that have really stuck in my mind. And even though I was kind of the black sheep and I didn't follow landscape architecture all the way through, you totally taught me to design. So thank you. And Mr. Chixie?
Thanks. Gus, I wouldn't say that this is a black sheep. I think we all agreed in our class when we were here that Biz had more talent in his little finger than the rest of us all had combined. He just took a different path, like he said. Gus, I'm thankful and grateful that I spent 3 years at Utah State, and you are the only professor that I never, ever got an A from. and I hope that I can haunt you forever. I got a B+ a couple times, but I never got that proverbial A. And yet Ralph was talking about the plant transect and doing that topo or that site development plan based on plant material only. Those are excellent learning tools. 3 years I spent here was great. I learned a lot. I can never be grateful enough for what you and Vern and Jerry Furman, Jerry Smith, and Dick Toth did for me that helped me in my career. Because I know if it weren't for you guys that I would never be where I am today, sitting in a federal penitentiary in Lebanon. Gus and Judy, congratulations. Good luck, and keep the blankets plugged in Wilmer.
There you go.
And Judy, I wanted you to know that at least everybody that I talked to in our class had a total crush on you. So just so you know that. And you opened your house to us many times. As I remember, for parties, you were always there. Gus was always there. So I think in our lives, very much you two were extremely inspirational, and I wouldn't be where I am today without you. Now, I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment, but it's true. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.